toxic masculinity.
Biden plans expansion of Fed's army of snitches in dollars for collars program. Now, I did read this article already in preparation for the show, and I didn't really understand it. So let's read this again together. Let's see if I can figure out what the heck they're talking about here. Biden plans expansion of Fed army of snitches in dollars for collars program. The administration plans on expanding its already massive surveillance apparatus. The Biden administration soon may recruit an army of private snoops to conduct surveillance that would be illegal if done by federal agents. As part of its war on extremism, the Department of Homeland Security may exploit a legal workaround, a loophole, you might call it, to spy on potentially entrap Americans who are perpetuating the narratives of concern. Oh, I mean, that's got to be me, right? CNN reported last week. But federal informant programs routinely degenerate into dollars for collar schemes that reward scoundrels for fabricating crimes that destroy the lives of innocent Americans. The DHS plan would allow the department to circumvent limits on surveillance of private citizens and groups. Federal agencies are prohibited from targeting individuals solely for First Amendment protected speech and activities, but federal hirelings would be under no such constraint. Private informants could create false identities and would be problematic if done by federal agents. So the federal government can't send anyone to spy on you who's employed by them directly. But if you are contracted out, then apparently, and you're a private person, then apparently you can spy on people. This seems like a loophole that needs to be closed. This is not appropriate. DHS would be ramping up. I mean, this is essentially circumventing the First Amendment. This is circumventing the First Amendment. This needs to be fixed. This is totally inappropriate. This is like what they do in China. This is what they do in China, ladies and gentlemen. We are becoming a communist state, apparently. DHS will be ramping up a war against an enemy which the feds have never clearly or competently defined. According to a March report by Biden's Office of the Director of National Intelligence, domestic violence extremists include individuals who take covert steps to violently resist or facilitate the overthrow of the U.S. government in support of their belief that the U.S. government is purposely exceeding its constitutional authority. But here's the thing. They've been targeting people who haven't been plotting to overthrow the federal government, but they have been calling them terrorists, domestic terrorists, and violent extremists. Right? They've said that white supremacists are the greatest domestic terrorist threat that the nation has. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. That is an absolute lie. It's absolute garbage. But that's what they keep saying. Let's see here. Perhaps like setting up a private information scheme to evade constitutional restrictions on warrantless surveillance. One DHS official bewailed to CNN. Let's see here. DHS officials have... This is a pull quote, or is this... Do I have to read this? Domestic violent extremists are really adaptive and innovative. We see them not only moving to encrypted platforms, but obviously couching their language so they don't trigger any kind of red flag on platforms. Yeah, like the way that I talk about the epic of Turth, so that I don't get deplatformed for talking about election fraud. Yeah, I do that because I believe in what I'm saying, but I'm not allowed to say it. That's not because I'm an extremist. That's not because I'm some kind of a domestic terrorist. That's because social media is crazy and tries to censor normal ideas. DHS officials have apparently decided that certain groups of people are guilty regardless of what they say, couching their language. The targets are likely to be simply people with bad attitudes toward Washington. That will include gun owners who distrust politicians who vow to seize guns. Read more. Okay, so apparently this is from Zero Hedge originally. And then this goes on forever. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this seems incredibly dangerous. This does not seem like something that we can, that is acceptable. I don't know how we can figure this out because, look, guys, there's not really much we can do at the moment. I mean, we are essentially stuck with this Biden administration. And I'm trying to figure out who's controlling the Biden administration because there are a few major players that are emerging here that have been named. So I'm going to do a video on this soon, I think. I'm going to probably research it throughout the rest of the night tonight. But yeah, I've been sort of trying to set up a map, and I've been putting the players in as I find them. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's controlling Biden at the moment, but it's not good. It's not looking good. There's a lot of dangerous people controlling Biden, and we're now in a situation where the left simply wants to be authoritarian now. And a lot of the stories today were about free speech. It's kind of weird how these stories kind of all end up being kind of similar on any given day. They all kind of relate to each other. But anyway, we need free speech. And I don't care how ugly the speech is. I don't care how ugly your ideas are. You need to be able to express them, because the truth is none of us know everything. We don't know everything. And so we need as many perspectives as we can to get the best sense of what reality is. And a lot of times, I think that conservatives tend to have a good hold on reality. We got our feet on the ground, right? Democrats don't. They build an entire political philosophy on misapprehensions of reality. And I always use this as an example, but it's a perfect example. They just did a study, and 44% of Democrats said that they believe that over 1,000 unarmed black men are killed every year by police. Well, that's ridiculous. In 2019, according to the FBI, the number was 9. The number was 9. USA Today did some kind of a study, and they found that the number was 25. Okay, so maybe it's not 9, maybe it's 25. That's still not over 1,000. I mean, that's a total misperception of reality, right? And the number of white men that are killed is far more. It's far more. And yet the number of encounters between police and black people and police and white people is about the same. Black men and white men, it's about equal, right? They commit an equal amount of crime, despite the fact that black men only make up 6% of the population. They still commit about the same amount of crime as white men. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous just how much crime comes out of the black community. And so you're going to have a lot of encounters with police. And yet, you still have more white men being killed. And so you have this total misapprehension of reality. And then you have things like the George Floyd protest. You have this idea that, cops have to go through race training so they become less racist. And we need to defund the police because police officers are all racist and like racist. The whole country's racist, systemically racist. The judicial system is racist. It's all based on, catching slaves and putting them back into slave labor. Well, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. There's all these misapprehensions of reality, and leftists believe this, and they create policy based on it. It's ridiculous. But I think that's why we need conversations, right? We need conversations that maybe make us feel uncomfortable, that maybe we don't like, so that we can perceive reality as it is, as opposed to, this fake reality that leftists live in. All right, I'm done being irritated. Back to my happy self. I was very excited to do the show today, and I'm still very happy despite the fact there's so many irritating things people are saying and that are being pushed forward. I do not like this civilian surveillance program that the Biden administration is pushing here. That's very scary to me. All right, well, we'll dig into that as this story progresses. I do want to keep an eye on that because that's terrifying, and I will try to get to you guys my thoughts on who is pulling the strings of the Biden administration. All right, with that said, we are the least professional show on YouTube. I'm Toxic, my wife is Masculine, and together we are Toxic Masculinity. No, I'm not done. I forgot that I have to read your questions and comments. Not have to, get to, because I love you guys and I love what you guys have to say. All right, so there's one super chat, it looks like, for $2.50, but I can't find it. Yeah, I can't scroll up that far, guys. So whoever wrote that, I'm sorry, but I can't read that. But I will go up slowly and I'll read some of these comments. John Bajak says, is it Porge Poros? It is not Porge Poros. There's a new guy, and he's from, where is he from? He's from Switzerland, which I have a good friend from Switzerland, so that's quite sad. Let me see here, ladies and gentlemen. What is his name? I'll find it. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.